Well, good morning all and welcome. Brian here coming at you from Drayton, North Dakota. It is 6 a.m., my normal arise time here at the farm. Just like to step outside first thing in the morning, see what kind of day we have upon us. Oh, and it has really warmed up the last few days. We've had temps in the low to mid 80s, supposed to be even warmer today. And the trees are all leafing out. This happened really fast. They went from just budding out to full leaves in just, it seemed like overnight. I think this heat has really helped with all that. Little apple tree back here. Already got some blossoms on it. That happened so fast. Crazy. Okay, so normal morning here, getting ready for work. I'm gonna start at 7:30 this morning. Get a cup of tea going real quick and get some lunch made for the day. I keep this insulated backpack up here. This is something I purchased last year, and I just leave it here at the farmhouse. Comes in really handy. Long days of work out in the field. I need to be prepared for just being out all day, so I load that up with a lunch and a bunch of water to get me by for the day. And yeah, get some breakfast going here and hopefully be ready by the time I need to be out there. So I got about an hour and a half. I like to give myself a little time so I'm not rushed in the morning. Gives me time to make my lunch, have some breakfast, and sit down and just leisurely have a cup of tea. So that's how I start out my day. Okay, here we are starting the day out. I've got to go pick up some seed with this truck here. We never start a truck up first thing in the morning without checking the oil. Oil's good, so I'll fire it up, get this day going. All right, now we're trucking. Okay, loaded up on seed. Let's get out to the field and fill up the seeder. All right, so here we are out in the field. I just finished seeding this field yesterday. It's 160 acres. So I'll give you a little breakdown of the rig I'm operating here. This is the John Deere 8R370. It's a big dog. It's got triples on the backs, duals on the fronts. And I'll give you a little idea how big this is. I'm 5'11", these tires tower over me. And this is the air seeder here. This is the 1890. It's got the seed tanks in the back. I'll just give you a little quick breakdown on how this works here. We load the seed into these tanks here from our trucks. And then there is a fan here that's operated by hydraulics that pressurizes these tanks. They're sealed on top. And then there is a metering system at the bottom of the tanks here. We calibrate it for the seed variety type so it can meter out an exact amount of seed based on what we need. And these tubes here with the air pressure feed the seed all the way through the tubes into these hoses, all the way up to the air seeder implement here. And the way this works is, of course, these wings fold down when I'm actually seeding. And each one of these air seeders, they're all along each side here, all through the middle. Those seeds come through the tubes, go to these distribution towers here. There's little hoses that go to each one of these, which pretty neat how this works. These rollers actually sit on the soil when you activate it down, and that's all hydraulics as well. And then these discs here turn as well, and they cut a nice little trough for the seed. So this is in front of where the seed comes out with the air pressure. This cuts a little trough, opens up the soil for the seed. Seed shoots out here, and this rubber disc here actually pushes the soil, as well as this one comes down when it's down, and pushes that soil that this disc cut The little trough pushes the sill right over it and covers that seat up. And you can move forward at about 7 miles an hour, and it'll just keep shooting seed out as you go and doing that little routine. Kind of neat how that works. So that is the air seeder. I'm all folded up, ready to transport. Next field is a good 12, 13 miles from here, so I've got a decent ride. You can only go about 15 miles an hour in this, so it'll take me close to an hour. That is our farthest field from the farmyard. So once we got that done, we've only got a few more, and we are approaching the end of the season here. So I have gotten questions before on how I learned to do all this, and it's basically just kind of evolved over time. I first started coming up here driving trucks, hauling beets from the fields during harvest season to the sugar plant. And during those seasons, I would be asked every now and then to move a tractor, move a piece of equipment, and kind of slowly learned how to just drive them and operate them to move them around. And that evolved into me just kind of becoming more comfortable with how they operate and function. And when I came up here for my first spring, they kind of just gave me a crash course on how all this worked. Of course, someone rode along with me and made sure I was doing everything right. And you kind of have to make some mistakes here and there as you learn. That's just part of the learning process. But at this point, I feel like I've got it down pretty good. So they just kind of turned me loose. And yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy operating the machinery. It is a lot of sitting. It's a long, some of my longest days have been like 14 hours. I'm going on 15 hours just sitting in a tractor, but I try to take breaks every now and then. I'll do kind of like a walk around, just check all the equipment, and it gives me a chance to kind of stretch out. But overall, it is a lot of sitting. It's a lot of tractor time, but yeah, that's what I'm doing out here. So anyway, let's get this tractor moved up to the next field. So I do have a little bit of a transport for this one, but most of it is these gravel farm roads. I'll have to hit the highway for just a little bit. So I got my flashers on. Just kind of ride the side of the road if someone needs to pass me. I do have a camera out the back here so I can see when someone comes up behind me. But yeah, just try to not hit anything. You got good mirrors all over. Of course, I can swing around and look out back, make sure everything's rolling right. So away we go. All right, so here we are on the highway. Probably my least favorite part of transporting equipment, but this is farm country, so most people that are out driving are pretty respectful. I can pull over only so much, and most folks, if they need to, they'll even go over and get in the grass a little bit. But yeah, having this rear camera really helps. Let's see what's going on in the back, but yeah, anyway, I'm just gonna focus on driving here. Okay, time to fold down. Okay, made it to the next field. It was a little bit of an adventure. I took a wrong turn, wasted a little bit of time, I had to backtrack, but here I am, time to get busy. First part of a field is the perimeters, and that's the most challenging part. It's just kind of a geometry math problem to get all the spaces filled in. So it takes a lot of focus. Once that's done, it's just up and down, making U-turns the whole time, but yeah. Okay, we are moving right along here. Like I mentioned when I pulled into the field here, getting started at a new empty field is the tedious part. I've got to go around and get all my GPS lines centered and right up to the edge of the borders. And getting the corners filled in is kind of the tricky part. That's mostly all done freehand driving, just kind of watching my seeder header here to make sure it gets right up to the edge. I go around 4 times to create a headland area. Headland is the 4 passes that gives me a space that's already seeded that I can make U-turns on to my long passes across the field. Once those headlands are set up, and I've done that 4 times around for my perimeter, it's pretty much an automated thing. There's a new software upgrade since last season when I was here in the spring. Not only does it drive itself straight down to the field, but now when I get to the end to do my U-turn, I used to have to do that manually. Now it's all automated. It will slow the tractor down, pick up the seeder, make a U-turn, put the seeder back down, and then increase my tractor speed back up to operating speed, which is 7 miles per hour while I'm seeding. And I'm just kind of sitting in here supervising. That's the main part of the gig here. So So I'm coming up to the end of the this pass here, coming up to my headlands. I do have a little graphic display here. It's kind of like watching a video game. And all I'm really doing is making sure that it's picking up on time. It's not dragging into the headlands too far and wasting seed, or picking up too soon and leaving blank spaces that haven't been seeded. So it's been picking up perfect, entering and exiting the headlands. You'll see it's going to make a U-turn. I am not touching anything. It slowed the tractor down. I have my steering wheel pushed forward. So it's going to complete this U-turn and get centered on the next line to make my next pass across the field. And just as I'm about to exit the headland here, this whole area has already been seeded. I did that on my perimeter. I'm about to exit here. It drops the seeder automatically. You have to program all this in, but once it's programmed, and now it's increasing my tractor speed back up to 7 miles an hour. Keeps on a straight GPS line, so really I am just supervising a computer. It's kind of weird. I actually kind of enjoyed it more when I had to do the turns manually. It just kind of gave me something to do to occupy my brain. So yeah, when I'm making these passes across the field here, it's about a 2.5 acre pass. I really don't have to do anything other than kind of glance at all the hoses here, make sure none of my hydraulic lines are leaking, make sure none of the hoses that are carrying the seed through it, or make sure they're not leaking or spitting any seed out. And other than that, it's just kind of hanging out. It is a bumpy ride though, so like today, I'll probably spend a total of 12 or 13 hours in this machine and just kind of getting bounced around all day. It's almost kind of like being on a boat if you're not used to it. Like at the end of the day, I'll go back to the farmhouse, and when I sit down at the kitchen table, it still feels like I'm moving around. But other than that, it just kind of, jostles you and beats you up a little bit. It's really a pretty simple gig. You do have to kind of know, what the operation is, so you know when something is going wrong. But it's, relatively problem-free, and I have had some issues. I was making a turn once and one of the hoses blew off the tank and seed was spurting out, so I immediately stopped and went and, repaired the hose, stuff like that. But overall, it's a pretty simple gig. So I am just about done. I've got one more pass on this field, so I'll fold up, and I've got about probably 20-30 minute transport to the next field, and it's about 3 p.m. now, so I should get a really good start on that. I don't think I'll be able to finish it. I'll probably go till 9:30 or so, till it starts to get dark, and then get back at it tomorrow. And we are approaching the end of the season here. I have been here, for about 40 days now. My total stay is about 45 days, and we will complete seeding, all the seeding, before I leave. Probably have a couple days after the last field. I can help do some maintenance and clean up on the machines before I fly out of here and get back to my van. It's been a good season. It started out quite cold. It was a very cold spring up here in the northern Midwest. Those of you from the region, but now it just kind of like turned. It went from being cold to it's like 85 degrees today. All the trees just like budded out and started leafing out, and it seemed like a matter of days. It was wild. So anyway, good season. Good experience, good money. I'll probably wrap it up when I get back to the farmhouse this evening. Want to kind of mention what I'm going to be doing after this when I get back to my van. But that's it for my job here on the farm. Okay, that is a wrap. We were saying goodbye to this field. That one was 145 acres. Most of the fields we do, they're referred to as quarters, which is a quarter square mile. That would be 160 acres. This one is a little less than 160. Because there is a homestead property, farmstead property, sharing the field. We call this the horse quarter because these folks have horses here. And you see that a lot here. A lot of the fields are just a full quarter, 160 acres, but a lot of them we're working around someone's farmstead. And oftentimes the field that's next to a farmstead, it has since been sold off long ago. So the field next to one of these farmsteads isn't necessarily owned by these folks here. So it's kind of how it works up here. I like these guys' place here. They got a nice spot. Saw him out there tending to the horses earlier. So anyway, got a little bit of drive ahead of me. Yeah, coyote there. Hey, coyote. Well, that is going to wrap it up for this video. I appreciate you all checking this one out. I hope it was somewhat interesting to you. I've only got a couple more days here before I fly out and get back to my van. We're really looking forward to that, but it's going to be a short stay with the van before I head on up to Alaska. I've got a gig set up in Alaska. I will be living and working on a boat in the salmon industry, so we'll bring you all along for that and show you what that's all about. Hope you're all doing well out there, and we'll see you soon in the next video. Take care. Peace.